Hello, my diamonds, my Teletubbies, and my TikTokers, and even my Hershey Kisses. Hold on a moment. I'm here today to talk about how Donald Trump, he got destroyed in the debate last night at 9 o'clock. I didn't get a chance to see it because I was tired. I fell asleep. But I knew that I would catch up on it when I watch TikTok. It's going to show everything about the debate. And Donald Trump, sorry, babe. Here we go.
Because he kept going back to the millions of people and they're all criminals. And he kept doing it. And she called him on it. And she said, note that he's going to talk about immigration when it's not the question. And I invite you to attend one of his rallies where he talks about Hannibal Lecter. And I want you to know that people at these rallies start leaving early. What you won't hear him talk about is you. That ended Donald Trump's, the cheese being firmly affixed to the cracker. Yeah. He literally, after that, could not stop interrupting. He could not stop going back. He could not stop going right back to his special place where he went on about immigration. He argued. He then turned around and interrupted and tried to keep arguing about crowd size. He tried to say we're going to World War III. He said millions of towns, Aurora, Springfield. He said that multiple times. They're eating dogs and cats. It was after that he went into the dogs and cats. David Weir breaks in and says, no, sir. There is no credible reporting about that. He kept rambling. I think what Vice President Harris managed to do was every single thing that the campaign beforehand said they wanted her to do. She got her policy points out. After this debate, what people will think about when they think about Vice President Harris is $25,000 for building a first home, $50,000 for a new business. They will think about the $6,000 tax credit because she kept saying it. Yeah. And what he kept saying was rambling, bizarre nonsense that made him look old. Wow. It made him look unstable. Wow. It made him look not just unpresidential, but the look that was on Vice President Harris's face. I kept screenshotting her face. The look said pity. Yeah. She looked like she pitied him. And she kept looking at him like, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she finally said, I think you're having a hard time connecting with reality. Donald Trump got destroyed in this debate because he can't control his mind. And you don't want a president of the United States that is not in full control of his mind. Because he kept going back to the millions of people and they're all criminals. And he kept...
Wow, that is something. Let me share something else with you. Well, let's look at the comments of how other people who managed to see the debate. She looked straight at him the whole entire time. And Trump didn't look at her once. She had to remind him that Biden is not his competitor. I am. She threw him off his game beautifully. This debate will be studied, baby. Let me see what else. He has always been like that. How was everyone okay with this from the jump and from the start? She dragged him. It was brilliant. She trolled him and he couldn't take it. He was completely crumbled. What? She threw him off balance and it was beautiful. Oh my God. I'm sorry I missed that debate. I hope there's a way I could. I know my bestie, she recorded it because she was going to a gospel concert yesterday. But maybe we can watch it together. She basically dragged him after that. I still don't get where he got to the dogs and cats from. Talking about people were eating dogs and cats. He went to Hannibal Lecter. What? And now we got to keep... My main focus, let me tell you what I'm thinking about. And I want to see how Kamala handles this. The immigration thing. She has a plan put in place. Personally, I think we're going to have to involve the military to get these ones who are not legal. These illegal immigrants or migrants, as my son says, call them migrants. I say immigrants because I'm comfortable with that. And, I don't have anything against immigrants or migrants, because this whole country was built on immigrants. But, there has to be a limit. And you have to make sure you take care of the American people first. Now, I'm not opposed to helping other people. Absolutely not. Because we need the immigrants to keep the country running, considering a lot of Americans don't want to work. If you're not willing to pay them $25 an hour and up, they're not really interested. A lot of companies and businesses are closing down because Americans are not showing up. How do I know that? Because I asked around of all these businesses that are closing. And I asked around, what's going on? Why are you guys closing? What's happening? They talk about in 2 weeks we're going to be closing. Why? People are not showing up for work. Deliveries are not being made to the stores because drivers are not showing up. So now they're coming out with the AI, the artificial intelligence. They're going to have them on the road. Drivers, no drivers in these trucks. That's going to be interesting. Because we need workers to keep the companies open and things being delivered to the stores, and no one's showing up for work. A lot of people are making way too much money on social doing what I'm doing. You get paid very well. So people don't see the need in showing up. Let's when it comes to the immigrants, I think we're going to have to bring the military involved in this, because they're going to have to start going around gathering up all of these illegals and shipping them out of this country, getting rid of them. I'm sure Kamala has a plan. That's going to be her trump card that she's going to pull out and shock the nations. Come on, Kamala. I love this. Woo, let me see.
If she's president,
hold up.
Would you veto? Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people.
Go ahead, girlfriend.
So Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. But we cannot afford to have a president of the United States who attempts, as he did in the past, to upend the will of the voters in a free and fair election. And I'm going to tell you that I have traveled the world as Vice President of the United States, and world leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. And when you then talk in this way in a presidential debate and deny what over and over again are court cases you have lost because you did in fact lose that election, it leads one to believe that perhaps we do not have in the candidate to my right the temperament or the ability to not be confused about fact. That's deeply troubling, and the American people deserve better.
Oh my God, anytime I hear somebody say facts, that is like one of my loves of my life. People dealing with the truth, not giving your opinion, but you showing evidence, you showing the stats, you showing the numbers, you have witnesses, you have proof. Oh, that just was like music to my ears.
Sure. Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people.
Okay, let me show this.
Would you veto a national abortion ban if it came
well,
to
I
your
won't
desk?
have to, because, again, two things. Number one, she said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote.
Would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade.
You should ask, will she allow abortion in the 8th month, 9th month, 7th month?
Come on.
Okay, would you do that?
Donald, don't be a fool. Don't be a jackass. Well, I don't want to disrespect him because I know my place. And I know how Jehovah and Jesus Christ told me to be respectful. He's talking about they're going to allow women to have abortions in their 8th month, 9th month, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much bullery a lot of the times, most of the times. Maybe, what is that, 1%? But my thing is, listen to how hypocritical all of these people who are against Roe versus Wade. Would you rather have people born, and then when they're born, they go into war, and they're killed and shot down and destroyed? Do you know how many veterans I've seen who have half a body, and they on it like a skateboard, and they're going around like this, and when you listen to their story, what happened, this is what happened in the war. Do you know how many people's lives were taken in World War I, World War II, civil wars? So you rather people be born first and then kill them. It is what it is. Let's not be a hypocrite here. Are you against war, Donald Trump? You against abortion? Whether a woman was raped, whether she was molested or forced by her husband to keep producing and pumping out kids that we know you can't afford. People can't even afford to pay their rent, their mortgage, food, clothes, decent health care. But yet you want people pumping out babies to bring them into this nonsense. So then people would say, what about contraceptives? They're trying to ban that too. So they just want to use women's womb so they could keep pumping out kids so that they can have workers. So that the rich could continue to sit on their fat behind and get richer. These people don't care nothing about the working class, the middle class, people who's working 2 and 3 jobs. Who got time to raise kids? I'm never home. I got jobs so I can just keep our head above the water. They only care about the large corporations and the rich people. That's what they basically care about. They don't care about struggling people like you and me. They don't care. They don't care about this country, not really. And we know he don't care about women. We see how disrespectful he has been to women. If you want to get women under control, just grab them by the pussy. Really, Donald? That's your president.
Why don't you ask her that question?
Why don't you answer the question? Would you
because
veto?
Under Roe v.
Answer
Wade,
the question. Would you veto?
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month.
That's not true.
That's not true. You heard what she said. That's not true. But he'd rather go around killing people when they're grown, full grown. Yeah, let's wait until they're good 18 years old. Then we'll kill them. That makes sense.
Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was not black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me. That's
My
up to...
question is, how is that relevant to anything that we're going through in this country? What does that have to do with lowering the price of rent, mortgage, and food, and clothes, and having decent education and health care? Whether she's black or who cares? I don't care if she's purple, green, rainbow. But he's trying to constantly distract people from the real issues. Right, Donald?
Her. That's up to her.
Vice President Harris, your thoughts on this?
I think it's, honestly, I think it's a tragedy that we have someone who wants to be president who has consistently, over the course of his career, attempted to use race to divide the American people.
Yep.
Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
And I think she's looking at him. Did you see how she was like this? She's having pity for him. I think she really has some genuine pity for Donald Trump. Now it says, why is the debate always on neutral ground? That put out, I don't know what they said about that. I think it's a tragedy that it was 3 against 1 in a debate. I don't know what this is. The way David Moore is mogging, people proofread.
If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one. She hates Israel. At the same time, in her own way, she hates the Arab population, because the whole place is going to get blown up. Arabs, Jewish people, Israel will be gone.
Is he aware that her husband is Jewish?
It would have never happened.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel.
That's absolutely not true. I have my entire career and life supported Israel and the Israeli people. He knows that. He's trying to, again, divide and distract from the reality, which is it is very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself.
If she's president, I believe that Israel will not...
Okay, now we're going to check out how he's saying that in Springfield, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs and the cats because mismanagement of money or what have you. And we're all laughing at this. Let me see. He's like an untrained artificial intelligence that is just creating random sentences. Good Lord. USA, are you okay? How is this guy a viable candidate? People are questioning this. Let's listen to him and his rantings and his lies.
President.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West.
They have abortion even in the 9th month. Yeah, well, you have abortions in the 18th year when a person is just living, Donald. Don't have me go there, Donald. Don't have us go there. Just basic common sense.
Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, is doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Crime here is up and through the roof, despite their fraudulent statements that they made.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I said that sarcastically. You know that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically. Look, there's so much proof. All you have to do is look at it.
I did watch all of these pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm, lost by a whisker. We didn't quite make it. And we should just point out here as clarification, and you know this, you and your allies, 60 cases in front of many judges, many of them Republican.
No judge looked at it.
And said
they said we didn't have standing. In Springfield, they're eating the dog.
You know, I just want to bring something to your attention, something that I posted on my TikTok.
The people that came in, they're eating the...
Yeah, I posted this on my TikTok because this was something that I was thinking about. You know, when you're meditating or you're just sitting there just thinking in a pensive state of mind. And I wrote, if you can be a felon and a president, because we know how many convictions and how many felonies has this so-called whatever child. If you can be a felon and be president, then they need to remove felon off of all of the job applications. You know how they say, are you a felon? Remove that off of the job applications, the rental applications, and professional certifications. If the highest position in the land can be taken by a felon, then all positions should follow suit. Everybody should have a second chance. Everybody should be allowed to step up into different fields because they already paid their dues to society by their jail time, what have you. But I think you understand the point I'm trying to make when it comes to all of these double standards. Okay, I just wanted to share that with you briefly. You know, I was just thinking about that. Let me know.
Kamala Harris just destroyed Donald Trump in one of the best debate performances, or worst if you're looking at Trump, in American history, guys. Watch any of the channels. Even Fox News said that this was a disaster for Donald Trump. God, I'm not sure how to even summarize this. You really have to go check this debate out for yourselves. Adding to the news, Taylor Swift just endorsed Hillary. I'm like so blown away by it tonight. Just endorsed Kamala Harris. So that's the other huge news of tonight. Taylor, of course, is enormous. But the debate started with Kamala Harris being kind of nervous. Not doing so. She was okay, but she was very nervous, kind of unsure of herself. Trump did what Trump needed to do, very serious, kind of talking like this, very presidential, right? Not being crazy Trump. And she just started needling him, and he lost it. And the entire almost 1.5 hours was Trump getting pissed off and saying stupid stuff, not sticking to talking points, and Kamala Harris being very presidential and very direct and very prosecutorial, but also nailing him. She got him on being old. She got him on being a liar. She got him on January 6th and supporting the insurrection. She got him on supporting dictators like Vladimir Putin and not defending freedom, not defending our troops. I mean, she hit him on all the key points, but she did it in this very smart prosecutorial way that was presidential, that wasn't mean, it wasn't angry, and she kept talking about how we had to get beyond the anger and lift ourselves and work for all Americans, look for the future of our country. And, you know, again, democracy and freedom and like all the positive stuff and not all the negative. Guys, she destroyed, again, you have to go watch. It was an hour and a half. On point after point after point, she got his goat. She pissed him off. She made him mad, and he lost it. It was amazing. Oh, final point. CNN just did a fact check. Kamala Harris had one lie, if you want to call it that, something she said wrong. She claimed that Trump gave them the worst unemployment since the Depression that they inherited from Trump. She said it was pretty bad, but it wasn't the worst. Trump had 33 lies. 33. She had one.
Wow.
Yeah. Go find it. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to make this too long of a video. So what does it mean? Hard to say. Debates don't always matter. Sometimes they do. Biden's debate killed him. Biden's debate lost him the presidency or the run, right? He's out as a result. So debates can make a big difference, but a lot of times they don't matter. Also, Hillary Rosen pointed out, a Democratic sort of pundit, a big political person in town. Hillary said, you got to remember that in 2016, Hillary Clinton won the debate. All the focus groups, all the citizens that were interviewed said, oh, Hillary Clinton clearly won. Well, then Hillary Clinton went on to lose the election. So just because you win the debate doesn't mean you win the election, but you're better off winning the debate than losing the debate. Just ask Joe Biden. This was a tremendous
she floored him.
Tremendous performance by Kamala Harris, and just a horrific performance.
Wow. Hold on, darling. So many people are saying that Kamala Harris, she wiped the floor with Donald Trump. She wasn't afraid of him. She was very confident. She was very poised. Take a look.
What do you think of the debate tonight?
That was just the beatdown of the sort that I don't think I've ever seen in a presidential debate or any debate. I mean, it was just brutal.
I'm glad he said that because, I haven't, we came right on, we did the show. I haven't had a chance to watch everybody's reaction. But my reaction was, oh, man, that was bad for Donald Trump.
Oh, it was bad. I mean, she was perfect, pitch perfect. I mean, she handled him. Everything.
She wiped the floor with him. She wiped the floor. Trump got destroyed. And I'm going to pin in the comment area all of the accomplishments that Kamala Harris has already achieved. I'm going to pin it in the comment area.
From the moment
she's not even president yet. Look at all the things she's already achieved.
Walked on stage and basically went right up to him.
I was hoping she would.
Right, she, said not afraid of him, and
she shook his hand,
and then she shook his hand, and he was like, and then, and she had to hold on, but she, and then she said she kept looking at him the whole time, like are you okay?
Yeah. It was like,
and then there was the what the did he say?
Yeah. There were a couple of moments that
the looks were great, and he would not look at her. And it's like it was a total power play on him.
Interesting, yeah. And he self-destructed in so many ways. You've been to many of his debates because, as I mentioned, you were married to Kellyanne Conway, who was his campaign manager.
Well, I learned a lot from those debates. I did not learn that he was such an expert in fertilization.
He knows. He is.
I'm not sure I wanted to know that.
And not just when it comes to human embryos.
Yeah, let me see what the people are saying. She wiped the floor with him. It was captivating. It says Kamala, immediately, she asked for a second debate. I'm sure she wants to address a lot of the issues that the American people are worried about, which is mainly this immigration nonsense. Now, if I could come up with the idea that we're going to have to get this military involved when it comes to rounding up these migrants and getting them, shipping them back to where they came from, and it's okay to set up like some shelters so that they have a place to live, but sitting around here giving them $150,000 to buy your first home, and you sit up here paying them more than you doing the American people, huge problem. And I'm hoping that she has a plan in store. But that's going to be her trump card, the card she pulls out last. Bam! Now what? And the only reason why she won't win this election is because she's a woman. And because she's a woman of color, she's ebony. A woman of color. That's the only real reason. With this male patriarchy, it's a man's world. Well, we see how far that has gotten us with men running the show. Look at the state that the world is in now. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, my beautiful diamonds. I'm going to look at the debate with me and my bestie. And I'm going to hopefully post some more information here with you and share that with you. And please keep in mind that this is definitely for educational. It's for critical review. And I want your reaction. Woman power.